Hey guys, I'm back. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about what my favorite books are, so I thought we could compile that in one location, that location being here on my YouTube channel of all the books that I've rated 5 stars. So I feel like to start, I should explain to you what my ranking system is. So let's get into that. I don't really just give out 5 stars for books. They do come few and far between, although I feel like this list is long, but it's been compiled over like 6 years, I think, this list. It's important to note that for me, a 5-star read means I have no notes. I still adore 4 stars, do not get me wrong, but there are some tweaks I would make. There's things I would change. 5 stars are like no notes, you popped off with this, babes. Popped off. The list is on here. Let's look. And it's in no particular order. Let me just say that. I'm like, oh my God, it's really hot in my place. But if I turn a fan on, I don't know if y'all will be able to hear me. So this is like a labor of love what I'm doing right now. And this is how most of the books made me feel. Starting off strong is a recent release, which is Love Overboard by Kandi Steiner. Now, I'm a Below Deck girly. I love watching reality TV, and I have been loving Below Deck for years now. And if you like Below Deck, this is like copy paste, amazing, gorgeous. I have no new episodes to watch. I have no new seasons. I miss Captain Jason. I miss Kate Chastain, and this filled a void for me. 5 stars. Well done, Kandi Steiner. Thank you for that. And it was interesting because it doesn't have a lot of the tropes that I would normally love, and actually a few that normally would turn me off, but I still ate it up, which says something was done right here. Up next is the Syndicate of the Legion series. Now this is a Why Choose Mafia series. Ugh, already. It's by Montana Fyre, who I love and adore and appreciate so deeply. And there are 4 men in this one. She's essentially dropped off at their doorstep. She is the princess to a mafia, on her own right. She's dropped off to the doorstep after trying to escape an arranged marriage, and she's basically almost unalived, okay? She's gripping onto dear life, and they open the door and they're like, oh, she's ours now. We're gonna bring her back to health. One of the guys is the dad to another one of the guys, and then there's like a cousin, and then like an adopted son. So it feels very wrong, and I like that. Cash by Jessica Peterson. Okay, I love Cash by Jessica Peterson. I feel like this is a perfect cowboy romance. I'm not really a cowboy romance girl, so the fact that I love this one, I feel like says a lot. The rest of her series is delicious, but Cash does hold a special place in my heart. There's ropes, there's a bed, there's this like city girl and small town guy and this distaste to love, and it's just so well done. Heated rivalry. I don't think I need to say much about this. I love the show a lot. I love the book a lot. No room to improve. Truthfully, like, that's all I got for you. If you don't know what it is somehow and you're just lifting up the rock you were under, it's an hockey romance with enemies to lover vibes over a span of 10 years. Yeah. The Girlfriend Zone by Lauren Blakely. This one is another hockey romance. I'm not normally a hockey romance girl. If I am, I prefer it to be romance, to be completely honest. But I did eat this up. I thought the romance was so cute. It was such a well-done rom-com, a balance, and I didn't find it cringy, which sometimes I can find in rom-coms. I just thought Lauren did a fantastic job with this one, and I loved the chemistry between our FMC and our MMC. Is it a video if I don't mention the frickin' Harlequin crew series? I think not. I'm gonna slowly melt through this video, I think. This is my #1 book series read of all time, so like do with that what you will. It is a Why Choose. It is, I think, the perfect summer read. It is based on a beach town. There's gang members. It is childhood friends to adult enemies to lovers. It's a revenge plot. Like, give me more. You've not given me enough. Keep feeding me, please and thank you. The Cursed Legacies series. This is another Why Choose. There's a lot of Why Choose on this list if you haven't seen. Common theme here, right? But it is a fantasy one, okay? So this FMC comes to the college with an ulterior motive. Let's just call it what it is, okay? She arrives, okay? Homegirl's there, and finds out that she is actually like the center of this Why Choose group of men. Like the top men in the campus, the university. One of them is a professor. And she's like, I did not come here for this. I don't want mates. Like, I want nothing to do with this. I'm actually here for some really fucked up shit. And they're like, too bad you're ours. Pretty much sums it up. Lessons in Sin. Now, what does this say about me? I was literally at a church today for my nephew's baptism, and I'm over here recommending Lessons in Sin. Right. So this is about a girl who is sent to this Catholic boarding school to get reformed, and she does. Over the altar. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Magnus Falk is both the head teacher and priest at this university, and all the girls kind of swoon after him, and his one job is to make this girl better, improved upon. Probably not his, but he did that anyways. Very filthy, very taboo. The Devil's Backbone series. Now, this is a romantic suspense series. It does have a why choose, and it does have step-sibling element in it, but they were, like, giving very much sibling. I've got to be honest. Whatever, regardless, loved it. The end of each of, there's 3 books in this series. The end of each of them, well, the 2, absolutely diabolical. Insane. What the fuck did I read? That's how I felt. Like, you definitely need to have the next book on hand because suspense for a reason, right? Till Summer Do Us Part. This was my #1 read of last year for a reason. It is the perfect rom-com in my opinion. It is the perfect summer read. Like, it is just pure perfection. Megan Quinn did her big one with this book. It is a fake dating plot. She's at this office and she's trying to, like, fit in, so she claims, you know, she's having trouble in her marriage. She is not married. Right. So she asked her best friend's brother to be in a fake relationship with her, and before you know it, she's not only in a couples therapy, but at a couple retreat for a bunch of her other colleagues that are trying to fix their marriage. Like, that is such a good plot. Are you kidding me? Yeah. And the audiobook on this, phenomenal. Ironside Academy. I think this is actually going to be my #1 read for this year, which is wild because I read it in the first week of January, the whole series. I digress. Amazing, gorgeous. It is a why choose. It is in an academy setting, and it is, I'd say, maybe like omegaverse adjacent. So we have a bunch of alphas. This university you get sent to, and it's like a TV show, okay? Think like The Bachelor. But they're all performing on this TV show. And everything's getting filmed 24/7 and getting streamed. She's a Sigma, bottom of the totem pole. There's this house of 10 alphas. 2 of them are professors. Do the math. That's all I've got to say to you. So fucking good. To Cage a Wild Bird. This is giving like Hunger Games 2.0 in such a good way. It's a dystopian novel. I really enjoyed this one. I get why it was everywhere and why it had its moment, because I think it deserved its own moment. I think dystopian is so back, and I think this was phenomenally done. So if you read The Hunger Games and you loved it and you ate it up, you should go pick this one up. Essentially, she goes into this prison to try to save her brother, but the thing about this prison is, like, all the elite pay to hunt the prisoners. Right, of course, gorgeous. Little Stranger. This is part of the Web of Silence duet. I've actually never read this second one. I only read the first. It was diabolical. This is so forbidden and taboo and dark and fucking twisted. So part 1, this book is in 2 parts. Part 1 tells the story of her and her foster brother back in the day. And then part 2 tells the story of her and, I guess, her foster brother again after he gets out of prison for something that he did in part 1. All I'm gonna say is read this in private. Like, the stairs scene, are you fucked? She was. Oh my god, there's still so many on this fucking list, you guys. The Bonds That Tie series. I would say, with the exception of the last book, which was not my favorite, I'm pretty sure I ranked all of these 5 stars. I just thought this was so incredibly done. It's a why choose fantasy, academy setting, fated mates. It's just so fun, and I love the experience of watching her bond with each of the men in this why choose. I was one of the first why chooses I've read. I'm curious how I would feel about it now as such like a jaded, worn-in member of the why choose community. But at the time, pivotal. I remember how crazy I felt reading some of these books. I was on a trip in Cancun with my family, and I wouldn't talk to anyone because I was reading them. Speaking of why choose that was pivotal in my life, the Ruthless Boys series. Yeah. This is still one of my favorite book boyfriends of all time, Ryder Draconis. He is in this book. Yeah, we have a snake shifter baby. So this is a why choose. If you've read the Zodiac Academy series, this is part of that universe. I personally think better than that, but, you know, to each their own. I'll probably get a lot of people arguing about that, whatever. And it takes place 4 years prior to the Zodiac Academy world starting. Love this series so dearly. I've read it multiple times. And I love Writer Draconis, a why choose academy setting. She's essentially trying to discover who unalived her brother, and she has 4 suspects. Right. You get where I'm going. What's next? Wanting Mr. Kane. Schnorr Williams did her big one. This is a 3-book series, I believe, but it is very taboo. It is about Kandi, and she's always kind of had a thing for her dad's best friend, Mr. Quentin Kane. She's officially of age, graduating high school, and they're going on a family vacation, and wouldn't you know it, he's starting to look at her a little bit differently. That's what I thought. They're literally upstairs. He has his girlfriend there. They're fooling around, and her dad's like, "Yo, Quentin!" I'm like, bitch, back it up. He's gonna find out. On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin. Ate this up. I kind of say, like, if you were looking for a romantasy, this is like the perfect romantasy, because we have fae, we have vampires, we have dragons. It's an academy setting. Like, I just feel like it has all the elements you love. Kind of an arranged marriage, trials. It's just really well done. It has all the great elements that you love in a book, and it's really digestible. So if you are looking to get into a romantasy novel, and you haven't read this series, I would. I've read up till book 2. Book 3 recently came out, so I do have to pick it back up. So I haven't got that far yet. But book 1 was a 5-star for me. Sunrise on the Reaping, and by that I mean weeping. This destroyed my soul. All the Hunger Games books for me are 5 stars. This is one of the ones I've read more recently, obviously, because it just came out. And it demolished me because I thought I knew Haymitch's full story. Raise your hand if you were wrong. This bitch. I was very emotionally unwell about this. I still am. I still get choked up, like, thinking about the story and understanding why he became, like, the way he is in the current timeline of things per the original trilogy. And this one was just like, oh my gosh. I'm terrified because I do think if we're going to get another story, it's going to be Phoenix. And I'm really scared for that. I have to be so for real with you. I'm petrified. Get in My Swamp by GM Ferry. Listen, I don't want judgment or question marks. We listen and we don't judge. Yes, it is a Shrek retelling. And yes, I did give it 5 stars because I think the brain it takes to pull this off, exceptional. GM Ferry, like, I'm so impressed with you because it was so well done. And, like, I actually think it's a good book. I'm not recommending it. Like, sometimes I'll recommend these, like, unhinged romance books. And I'm like, it was super funny and you'll laugh your way through it. I'm like, no, this was actually a good book. And also happens to be a Shrek retelling. What do you want from me? Essentially, she's on a horrible bachelorette trip, and she's like, I can't get enough. I need a break. She wanders into the woods. Well, this ogre, the first line of defense for this fairy, like, he's the first line of defense, and basically, like, if you fall into his trap, he normally eats what's in there for food and sustenance. Well, this time he eats what's in there, because she fell in the trap. Pack Darling, this is a duet, and it was my first omegaverse I ever read. Phenomenal. I also think it was a really easy way to learn about the omegaverse. So if you're someone that wants to understand it a little bit more, perhaps, amazing place to start. An amazing duet, amazing omegaverse. It's like giving Why Choose. If you like Why Choose, you're gonna like omegaverse. It's many men and one girl. And I'm just gonna kind of leave it at that because I think it's really fun to experience for the first time. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This one, I wanna put the caveat that you need to be in the right headspace for this because the world building, very big. It's a thick book, and you have to be ready to commit to it. But once you do, you're in for so much fun. The audio of this was phenomenal. I had such a blast with it, but it was like, I think 40 hours long. Like, I'm telling you, you have to be ready to commit. Don't go into this unless you're ready for that. It was such a well-done romantasy. I loved the world building. That's something that's very important to me in romantasies, and this delivered. Her Vicious Beast series. This is another Why Choose. It's a fantasy. It's an academy setting, but it's an academy setting in the sense of, like, it's an academy for prisoners, like beasts, rabid ones at that. And you get to discover along the way who all of her mates are, which I think is really fun. I do want to emphasize, very importantly, there is a novella that goes with this series. You must read before book 1. I personally think it either should have been put in book 1 or labeled book 1. I digress. Read that first or you're going to be very confused. Truthfully. With all my heart, I say this. The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. I love this one so much. I think part of me also really loved it because my sister-in-law is from Brazil and her name is Natalia, and that's the name of one of the characters. And there was so much in here that reminded me so much of her and her family. And like the food that they eat and the culture, and the phrases that I know in Portuguese. And so I think that's another reason why I loved this so dearly. But it was so well done. I think Mia Sosa is an incredible writer, and this is my favorite book of hers. I could be biased because it has my sister's name in it, but I digress. Love Theoretically. This for the longest time was my favorite Ali Hazelwood book. I can't tell you much about it. I know it's like a professor-student. Nope, that's Love Hypothesis. I don't remember anything about this book. And here I am recommending it to you, but I know I marked this as 5 stars and it was my favorite for a long time. I've forgotten everything I know, and now I feel like a shit reader. Let's move on. The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson. This is my favorite Lana Ferguson book. I think it's like an intro to Omegaverse. It's Omegaverse adjacent. This one is about a doctor and I believe he's a cardiologist, and they're fake dating in the workplace. And she has shifts and goes through heats, and there's a knot, and like it's fake dating, right? Friends to lovers. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun with this one. It's my favorite, like I said, by Lana Ferguson. I've read a lot of her stuff and I love Lana Ferguson's work, so that says something. A weird one for me was 5 Broken Blades. I was really into this. It's a mystery in the sense where like you're trying to figure out who in the group is lying. If you've read 6 of Crows, I think this is very similar. I really enjoyed my time reading this because there's so much going on with the plot, and they're all going to try to assassinate a king, I'm pretty sure he is, but someone's lying, and you don't really know who it is. And then the books continue. I haven't kept up with the series just because so much has been going on, and I need to be recapped what's happened, but the feeling I felt with book 1, I was like, oh my god, like it was the first time I've read a book like that, and I really enjoyed it. Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. Do this one on audio. I've never actually felt that a book was... I've never actually truly felt that a book was written to be listened to, except for this one. It is told of a podcaster reopening a cold case of a murder years ago. And it's about this girl, and everyone assumes she's the one that murdered her best friend. She knows in her heart she didn't do it, but she can't remember anything. So he's reopening this cold case and interviewing her. And what I think is phenomenal about the audiobook is you are listening to the interview, like the podcast episodes. Like you hear a podcast in your ears. It's so well done. I don't know what it looks like on page, but I know what it looks like in my ears, and do that. Lilac by B.B. Reid. This is a Why Choose Rockstar romance where they want nothing to do with her. It's a bully romance. They're like, we're going to get her to quit this band. She got added to the band. They don't want her there. So much going on. You never really... The ending was crazy. I don't know where that fucking came from, but I remember thinking like everything was going to be good, dandy, amazing, and then the ending came and I said, what the fuck? I think that's what pushed me over the edge because I was really enjoying it and the tension and the build-up, and then the ending came and I was like, right. The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. I will stand 10 toes down that this is my favorite psychological thriller. It really had me never knowing what was happening, and when I kind of got a clue in, halfway through, your whole perspective changes. And I think that's a really cool thing about a book, is all of a sudden when you think you know what's going on, you have no fucking clue whatsoever. I love that. I love being blind as the reader. The Shatter Me series. Obviously, if you haven't read this series, it's like the OG dystopian. Like this one in the Hunger Games, top tier, phenomenal. I actually didn't read it years ago. I probably started it for the first time like 4 years ago, and of course I ate it up. Of course I fucking ate that up. I ate all of them up. What are you talking about? Ride by Ali Hazelwood. This overtook Love Theoretically for me. I thought this one was phenomenal. I once mentioned I thought it was Omegaverse adjacent, and I was put in my place. Just because there's a knot, it doesn't mean it's Omegaverse. My bad. It's about a vampire and a werewolf who basically make a bond in a world where like they're not supposed to whatsoever. And an arranged marriage, she gets sent to the land, there's a nest, there's a knot, like it's well done. Ali Hazelwood knows what she's fucking doing, okay? Serpent and Wings of the Night. This is another one that I would say, like, if you liked The Hunger Games, This is like Hunger Games with vampires, a little bit. That's like the best way I can put it. She's the daughter of the vampire king, but she's a human. And there's these trials that if you win, you can get a wish granted. So she enters them because she wants to become a vampire. There's all other vampires in here. These trials are insane. The end of the book had me gagged and gooped and gagged. So fucking good. Last one on this list is The Locker Room by Megan Quinn. I think this is one of her tamer ones. It still does have smut in it, but not as much. This was actually weirdly one of the first ones I read by Megan Quinn. And I would actually say that, like, if you love the Off-Campus series, which is phenomenal, I think I rate those like 4 stars, you would really like this one. It was like an OG by Megan Quinn, and I just thought it was really well done. I have not read this in years. This was read like 6 years ago at this point. I think it's the oldest book on this list, but I really enjoyed it. So now that I've yapped for 10 fucking years and told you about all the books that I've loved and ranked 5 stars, can you tell me about some of your faves? And let me know what other videos you guys would like to see from me, because I do want to post more on here. Hopefully I'll be able to do more vlog styles. My brain's a little spacey, babes. So a girl can only do so much. She can only do so much. I love you guys, and thanks for hanging with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.